Alrighty, so we're gonna talk about how to put a halter on a cow. So when you get your halter, it might be all bunched up and it's hard to tell sometimes how to arrange it to actually go on the cow. So you'll always have the actual loose line that you can adjust, right? So the loose line should always be going under the chin. So this one is where your chin will be. And then there's the middle one that's not adjustable at all. That goes over the nose. And then the one that you can adjust the height on goes over the head and the ears. So it'll go in like this. So the loose one should always be on the bottom, like that's the most important. And then the other two should follow. So you want to go just around the ears and then under the chin, and you pull it tight. So the reason you want that loose one under the chin is because that way when it's being pulled tight, it's pulling this down and pulling it tight here rather than pulling it tight up and like over her eye. So that way we're avoiding this getting on her eyes at all or pulling like behind her ear in a weird place. So once you have the halter on, then we'll talk about how to tie her up in a slip knot. So if you have headlocks, it's nice to have something to pull it around. So if you're giving an IV, you're gonna want to access the neck vein. And so you'll pull her head to the side and pull her forward as far as possible. And then you'll tie her up around something. Or you could also tie her to here, anywhere that's gonna prevent her from it sliding back and forth this way or up and down this way. So you always want it as tight as possible because the more slack that they have, the more they're gonna be able to move their head and you're not gonna be able to get the injection in the correct place. So we're gonna go over and around the headlock because this is the most secure place for me to be able to hold that halter in place. And then we're gonna go around twice because that way when I'm tying the knot, there's not as much pressure of her pulling. So it's easier to tie the knot when you don't have her working against you. So next, you're gonna use your extra slack and you're just gonna flip it. Now there's a specific way you have to flip it. So you can't flip it with this on top. Your loose line should always be on the bottom. So in this case, when I flip it, the loose line is on the bottom. It's on the bottom of this rope and it's on the bottom of this rope. So once I flip it and the loose line is on the bottom, then you can just grab the loose line through the hole and pull it tight. And now she's not gonna be able to move. And so when we're giving an IV, we have good access here to her neck vein. You could also give intramuscular injections and sub-Q injections, or even a sub-Q ear injection. So let me show that again. So first things first, pull the head tight. And then you're just gonna flip your rope. Make sure your loose line is underneath both. And then you're just gonna reach over and pull through the hole. So it's pretty simple, it just takes a little practice.